Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Dad Project. Thank you once again for joining me for another week, taking the time out of your busy week to listen to the little podcast that I have going on here. As always, before I get into today's episode, I would love for you to make sure that you are subscribed on whatever podcast platform you are listening to this on. Jump on and follow us on the socials. So at The Unstoppable Dad on Instagram, The Unstoppable Dad Project on Facebook. You can also find video versions of the podcast, albeit backdated, on the YouTube page. And please, please, please make sure that if you know somebody or you think that there is somebody in your life who may be able to get some value out of what it is that I am doing here, please share it around, because without you guys sharing it with other people that you know, we wouldn't be able to continue to grow. We've seen such amazing growth over almost 2 years of doing the podcast now. So if you like what we're doing here, if you think that somebody else might get some value from it, make sure that you share it around. And just before I do get into it again, please, thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for continually listening to the podcast. Those of you that come back, if you're new here, welcome. Just it blows me away that I jump on every week and have a look at the stats and where we are getting listeners from and how many downloads we're getting and things like that, just to see from feedback, what you guys are enjoying and what I can do more of from a topic point of view, episode format, so on and so forth. And it blows me away that there are people all over the world that listen to this podcast on a weekly basis. So I just want to say thank you. We're coming up towards the end of the year, coming into this Christmas period. And as I kind of wrap up another year, it continually blows me away, the support that I'm getting, the people that listen to it. So thank you. It really does mean the world to me. So one of what I wanted to go through today is I really wanted to talk about one of my favorite things about being a coach, right? So my coaching journey has been a 15-year plus kind of journey, where I started off as a coach, as a sports coach, coaching American football in Australia, where I started coaching the local team, specifically working with under 19 young men. And from there, it evolved into becoming a trainer, so a personal trainer. I still use the word coach in that space because I started off as a sports coach. And then from there, opening my own gym and really, and that's where it kind of took on a life of its own. And then obviously here we are. And predominantly the vast majority of the coaching that I do is online through the Dad Project, through Fusion Sports and Performance. I still do some online stuff, some in-person stuff, but mostly I'm really only working with people online. But over the years, the type of person I have coached has changed. I won't say it's changed quite dramatically. It obviously has from when I first started, because the majority of people that I were working with when I first started coaching was obviously that under 19 young men athletes, both people who were looking to go to the next level as young athletes, people who were those weekend warriors. So started from there and then started working with day-to-day people. And then now I'm working with predominantly busy parents, but it's evolved a lot over the years. And also some of my favorite things about being a coach have changed over the years. But one of the things that has kind of really been highlighted to me over the last couple of weeks that is really something that it actually didn't used to be my favorite thing as a coach, but it's become one of my favorite things as a coach, is seeing people succeed after they've finished working with me. And that's been one of that. So the reason I kind of wanted to do a topic on this is over the last week, I've actually seen a lot of the young men that I used to coach when I first started as a personal trainer and when I was coaching football. I've seen them hit some fairly unique milestones in their life. Some of them have gotten engaged. Some of them have had kids of their own. Some of them have continued to play football as they've got older. I've had one who's just been able to win a state championship. Like, there's been a lot of things over the years where even though I'm not coaching that person, they've still been able to continue to succeed in their life. Now, I'm not saying that I'm responsible for that at all, but I love the fact that to see people that I've been able to interact with on a coaching level continues to succeed, because at the end of the day, one of the things that I got told as a young coach in the fitness space when I first began was, if you are a good coach, you should be doing everything you can to work your way out of somebody's life. So if we use like the fitness space as an example, when I first start working with somebody, and especially if this is if it's an in-person gig, you are going to spend a lot of time explaining things to them, especially if they don't have a very high base level of where they're beginning with. And what I mean by that is you're going to be showing them how to squat. You're going to be telling them where their foot position is. You're going to be telling them how you want them to do something, albeit that needs to be tailored to them, their own individual body types, so on and so forth. But there's a lot of hands-on action that needs to take place in order to get them doing the thing that they're paying you to do. And then if you're a good coach, that should lessen over time. Like, you shouldn't, if you are a good coach and if you are somebody who is worth what they are investing in you, you shouldn't have to constantly be on them about putting their feet here, having their knees tracking here, going to this range of motion, you should be doing a good job of educating them so that they become self-sufficient. And then over time, what happens is you're actually working your way out of their life. And somebody said that to me very, very early on in the piece. And it didn't really mean anything to me early on, because when I was early on in the opening up the gym, and as a coach, it was more about bringing in more clients. It was more about trying to get as many people as possible in the doors, which actually helped me as a coach. The more people we brought in, the more interactions I was able to have, the more I was having to adapt things, and the quicker I was learning. But it didn't mean anything to me in the early stages. But then when we got into it, like that 3, 4, 5, 6 years, it really started to take on a life of its own, because people would start to leave for one reason or another, whether they would have to move, or the big thing is, and this one stings a little bit, like as a coach, as somebody who's invested time into somebody, like they would leave because I was unable to help them anymore. They were at a point in their life, or they were at a point in their training journey where they had to move on in order to continue to progress. And early on in the piece, that stung a lot. It was almost like a breakup, right? Like when you're a coach and somebody leaves, like it's almost like you're having a lower end of a relationship breakup, because you've had a lot of interactions with this person in order to try and get them to progress. And if the quote unquote relationship ended at a point where they had to go on and they had to go work with somebody else in order to continue to progress, it stung quite a lot in those early stages. Now, eventually over time, I started to see that as a little bit of a compliment on my coaching abilities, because I had worked with them to a point where they had outgrew what I was able to offer them. And then over time, you would see these people then go on, they would work with different coaches, different trainers in different gyms, and they continue to succeed. And I get a kick out of that now. There was once a time in my coaching journey where I wouldn't there was be this low level jealousy or even anger towards it. But now that's not the case. I've moved past that in my coaching journey to a point where I'm very, very happy for that person, that they're continuing to take the actions that we've worked together to continue to progress. And it doesn't matter whether it's the young men that I worked with as a football coach, or it's the people that I've worked with in the gym space. I actually get a lot of joy now in my life out of seeing people continue to succeed long after I've finished working with them. Because even though most of those people probably, without me in their life, would probably still be able to succeed, because they've probably got that personality type, or the thing that they were looking to change has really worked, like it was so important to them that they would probably work it out. It's nice to see people succeed, especially people that you have had a personal history with, an interaction with on a personal level, where you've been a little bit of a part of their life, and to see them continue to grow and forge their own path and do their own thing, I believe is a really wonderful thing. I think it's amazing to see that. That is one of my favorite things right now of being a coach also one of the favorite things I've got a lot of gripes with social media, right? For me, it came about, I'm in that generation where I know what life was without social media and without the internet, but I also know what it is with. So there's a few things that I hate. There's a few things that I love. One of the things that I love is being able to see people who I don't see in person on a regular basis continues to succeed, especially, and that goes across the board, but especially those ones that I've had the pleasure and I've had the privilege of being able to coach over the years. So that's one of my favorite things about coaching. And the reason I mention that is because we are coming to that time of year where people are going to sit down, they're going to assess the year that was, and they're going to look to what they want to achieve in this coming year. And I want to tack on a message to the end of that. And the message is that you don't actually need a coach. Whatever it is that you want to succeed, you don't need a coach. And some people may hear that and be a little bit shocked that I'm saying that because, well, one, I actually have a paid coaching program that if you've listened to long enough, you will know about. But my paid coaching program is a little bit different to a lot of people in the fact that I know what I'm good at. I'm good at providing programs to people and helping them reclaim their strength and athleticism in a busy life and adapting a suitable program to their needs, to their wants, and to their schedule. And that's what I'm really good at around movement, exercise, strength, performance. That's my thing, right? And I don't try and be anything else within the program. Like that is where I sit really well and what I've spent the last 15 years of my life mastering. Like I'm not trying to ram nutrition programs down your throat. That is not my area of expertise. I'm not trying to ram mindset stuff down your throat. I've got things that I can help you with that I know have worked for me. But again, that's not my area of expertise. I know that from those points of view, my big focus is trying to get you physically moving well and get you happy with that routine. And I know that a lot of things within life actually flow on from that. Why? Because I've got 15 years of coaching experience to back that up. I've tried things that didn't work. I've had people outgrow me as a coach. But most importantly, one of my philosophies as a coach is I'm actually doing as much as I can to work my way out of your life, rather than stay in your life. And there is this thing in the coaching industry, and especially with the prevalence of social media, and I've just gone from one of the things I love about social media to now one of the things I dislike. But there is one thing, if you look online, it's littered with coaches, especially in the health and fitness space. And they want to put forth this facade and this bravado that you will fail if you do not do my program. Whatever result that you want to do, you will fail. I'm here to tell you, you will not fail. Okay. Your life will be just fine without investing in a coach. Now, if there is a result that you want to achieve, if you want to get back to training more regularly, you want to maybe feel a little bit better in your own body, you want to start to get a little bit stronger, I do think there is an advantage in investing in a coach. Now, I also understand that there is a financial barrier to do that. And in today's day and age, with all the financial stress that is there in everybody's life, sometimes it's just not feasible to do that. There are other priorities, and you don't need it. There is plenty of free resources online. The big thing that you need to commit to if you aren't going to have a coach is you need to commit to action, and you need to work out how to keep yourself accountable when you do it. Because I can tell you right now, when I've invested in a coach, the big things that I like, the program itself, most of the programs that I've invested in over the years, I could probably find the information online. And it's the same with you. Whatever it is that you want, the free information will be online. Look at my program. I've pretty much given away everything in my program online. There is a free 8-week program online that I would use, that similar template, just adjusted for most people who started with me for their first 8 weeks. You can go and find that online. But where it can help a little bit, if you have the financial means to do it, is it can help with implementation. And what I mean by that is, firstly, they can help. A coach, a good coach, can help you adjust it to your own particular set of circumstances. And then there is an element where you have somebody externally who is able to hold you accountable to what you say you are going to do. They're the two big areas where you can get some value from that. But don't get sucked into this Stockholm syndrome that is out there where everybody is telling you that you will fail if you do not invest in this course or do that, because you can get through. Firstly, if you are happy with where you're at and you don't want to change, that's amazing. All power to you. Keep doing what you're doing, because I get sucked into this all the time thinking that I'll see something and I'll think, oh, I need to change this like right now. And I don't, because there's not actually anything wrong with that. I'm just listening to somebody else who's maybe got a really nice message that maybe resonates with me a little bit, but not entirely. And I get sucked into, I guess, the marketing wheel, which is what it's about. And you don't need it. You don't have to invest in it. And especially if it's going to cause you stress in other elements of your life, maybe it's sometimes best left alone. Now, if there is a burning desire for you to do it, you can still do it without the coach. Like, you're not going to be completely lost. There is help out there. There is free help out there, and you can get traction moving things in the right direction for yourself without that. So please don't get in this period that we're going through. Don't get sucked into that marketing hamster wheel where thinking that you need to spend X amount of money to get this result, because you don't. Now, it may be beneficial to you if you need help with implementation, you need help with accountability. But don't think and don't get sucked into the fact that some people will tell you that they have the magic formula or they have the magic pill, because there is no be all and end all for your goals and your particular set of circumstances. There is no magic pill. There is no magic formula. The thing that coaches can help you with is they can help you with implementation. They can help you with accountability. And that is about it. It ends there. And if you think you can do that by yourself, go ahead and do it. The big thing you just need to do is you just need to take some action, because that will move the needle forward for you. And that's coming from somebody who has been a coach for 15 plus years, has been lucky enough to coach some amazing people, and people who have been able to succeed, and people who have outgrown me over the years. And that is the thing as a coach, that as people evolve and as they grow and as their needs change, they may not need me in their life in that coaching role anymore. And that's amazing. That's great, because that is essentially what people pay me to do. They pay me to get better. And if that's the point where they've outgrown what I have to offer, that's great. I have also got the advantage now, having a decade plus of experience, where there are quite a few things that I can help people with within strength building, without fitness. So sometimes, even though the particular goal we've set out to help them with has changed, we can still continue to work together, just because we can shift the approach based off them looking to achieve a different goal. So, keep charging as we're coming into this new year period. I know it's going to be a time for a lot of you where you're going to reassess your goals and look what you want to achieve. If you think a coach can help you, great, but be real about what it is that they're actually doing for you. Don't get caught into this Stockholm syndrome that they put out there, that the marketing geniuses will put out there, because you don't need them. They are a tool and a vehicle to help you achieve your goals through giving you the help with process, implementation, and accountability along the way. So this episode will be published just before Christmas. So I just want to take this time to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Thank you once again for taking the time this year to listen to the podcast. I'm about to head off for a week. So if you do send me any messages on social media or something like that, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just probably going to go offline for a week. So thank you again for listening to the podcast. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Have a great Christmas. If I don't jump on a podcast beforehand, have a great new year, and we will see you in 2023. Bye.